Good morning, guys. So in this class, I am going to explain about the this HMP pathway. So what is HMP pathway? Yeah, what is HMP pathway? So the HMP pathway is having some different names also. So it's called as triple P. So what does triple P means? It is called as pentose phosphate pathway. Pentose phosphate pathway. Otherwise, it's called as phosphogluconate pathway. Phosphogluconate pathway means it is nothing but it's the same. It's a parallel side of glucose metabolic process. How your glycolysis process happen now? The glucose is going to metabolize, is going to produce some energy. It's converted into different product. The same manner, the parallelly, the glucose it's undergone this pathway also. So it is also one of the glucose metabolic pathway like glycolysis. So in this pathway it's going to produce some unique substance. What is the outcome of this pathway means? It's going to generate more amount of NADPH. So this NADPH is essential for precursor for various nucleotide synthesis. Apart from that, this NADPH is having a multiple role in our biological system. So the first primary one, it's act as a precursor for synthesis of nucleotides. You guys know that what is nucleotides? Nucleotides is nothing but it's a base pair. DNA chain is having a base pair. That base pair is called as nucleotide. For those nucleotides synthesis, biosynthesis, this NADPH is very essential one. That NADPH has been synthesized in HMP pathway. So it is nothing but it is just involve the oxidation of glucose. It's nothing but it's a glucose oxidation process. Mostly this pathway it's used for anabolic process. It's now in before that we have seen in glycolysis and TC cycle. Mostly this pathways as involved in the catabolic process is going to break down the substance. Glucose is converted into pyruvate, then it's converted into the acetyl CoA. So it's like a catabolic process, breakdown process. But this one is it's involved for the anabolic process, build up process. Okay. So particularly this is very especially important for the for RBC, erythrocytes. So where it is happen, the location of this pathway, where the place is going to happen exactly. So is mostly present on various tissues. Okay. This HMP pathway is going to conduct on particularly liver, adipose tissue, adrenal gland, and erythrocytes, testis, and lactating mammary glands. So these are the tissues, different types of tissues and organs to carry out the HMP pathway. When particularly those specific cell, the cytosol is the responsible place to carry out this process. Okay. So I already say that this is involved for mostly in anabolic process. So it is involved in the biosynthesis of fat. So it's mostly involved in the biosynthesis of fatty acids and steroids. Those the reaction is dependent upon the NADPH supplies. So wherever the reactions need the NADPH means that reaction is going to catalyzed by with the help of this HMP pathway, because this HMP is going to produce more amount of NADPH that's involved. That NADPH is involved for the various anabolic process like fatty acid and steroid biosynthesis. So in plants, the say totally different. In plants, the particularly the HMP process kept taken place in the plastids. Okay. So this is next one is overview of HMP study. This HMP pathway is overview. Actually, this is the overview. You can see here the first starting material is glucose 6 phosphate. So then it's converted into the phosphogluconate, then 6-phosphate gluconate and ribose sugars and xylose and erythrose and fructose 6-phosphate and glycerol 3-phosphate. So this is a sequence of reactions. You no need to mug up all those things in this slide itself. So you just see here. So they are denoted in a pink color is a number of carbon molecules. Here you can see here the 6 carbon molecules moiety, the glucose 6 phosphate, it's converted into the various product. Okay. In meanwhile, it's going to produce the NADPH. So the NADP is going to reduced into NADPH. So once the NADPH is ready, means it's ready to once the NADPH is formed or synthesized, means it's ready to donate the hydrogen ions for various biological biosynthesis process. So that's a thing. So in this process, the NADPH is going to synthesize, that's involved for the various biological process, particularly biosynthesis process. Okay. So this is a cycle. The same HMP pathways they are mentioned here. Cycle you can see here. The first starting material is glucose 6 phosphate. So this is the one of the important enzyme. The enzyme is called as glucose 6 phosphate dehydrogenase enzyme. This enzyme is act as a regulator for HMP pathway. Once this enzyme is late, otherwise this enzyme is not working, means this entire pathway is not at all is going to start. It's not at all even it's not at all going to start, because this is a starting material. So when the glucose 6 phosphate is converted into the lactone 6 lactone, then only the cycle is going to start. For that process, this enzyme is act as a vital role. So this enzyme has also it's regulated by various substances. Those things we have discussed in further slides. So this is the first step. Glucose 6 phosphate, it's converted into the 6 phosphoglucolactone with the help of glucose 6 phosphate dehydrogenase enzyme. Here one NADPH is going to form. Then this is 6 phosphoglucolactone, it's converted into the 6 phosphoglucanoic acid. Okay. Then it's converted into the ribulose 5 phosphate. So this is a one product. Up to that, that's a one process. Afterwards, it's converted into the ribose and erythrose fructose glyceraldehyde 5 phosphate. So it may confuse. For further slides, you can get very clear pictorial representation here. You can see here, once the ribulose is formed, it's converted into the xylose and ribose 5 phosphate. This is both the substance is undergone the various process with the help of various enzymes, transketolase and transaldolase and isomerase enzyme. It's finally it's converted into the fructose 6 phosphate and glyceraldehyde 3 phosphate. So this is a various step reactions, various irreversible reaction is there, interconvertible reaction is there. Those entire things we have seen in further slides in very detail in manner. So this entire cycle HMP pathway has been divided into two different phases. First one is oxidative phase, the second one is non-oxidative phase. So this entire pathway, it has been divided into two phases. One is oxidative phase, the second one is non-oxidative phase. So what's happened exactly? The oxidative phase, it's nothing but the two molecules of NADPH is reduced into NADPH. Okay. So the energy is utilizing energy from the conversion of glucose 6 phosphate to ribulose 5 phosphate. So we know that the starting material is glucose 6 phosphate. From up to the starting point, it's converted into the ribulose 5 phosphate. That entire step, up to this step, it's called as oxidative phase. In below that, you have seen this exact reactions. What's happened? Exact reaction is there mentioned in a numerical method. So the glucose 6 phosphate, 2 NADP molecule and presence of water, it's converted into the ribulose 5 phosphate, and 2 NADPH molecule is going to form and hydrogen ions and the water molecule. So this is this entire process from the glucose 6 phosphate to then ribulose 5 phosphate. This up to this reaction is called as oxidative phase. So what is non-oxidative phase? It's nothing but from the ribulose 5 phosphate, that means the product of oxidative phosphate, the product, that product has been converted into fructose 6 phosphate and glyceraldehyde 3 phosphate. So first step, glucose 6 phosphate is converted into ribulose 5 phosphate, that is oxidative phase. After that, that ribulose 5 phosphate it's further converted into fructose 6 phosphate and glyceraldehyde 3 phosphate. This entire reactions, various intermediate reactions there. but this full sequence it comes under the non-oxidative phase. So you can see here 3 molecule of ribose 5-phosphate is undergone the reactions. It's going to produce a 1 ribose 5-phosphate and 2 xylose 5-phosphate. The 3 molecule is converted into 1 ribose and 2 xylose. Then further this 3 molecule is undergone the reaction. It's converted into the 2 molecules of fructose molecule, 2 fructose molecules and 1 glyceraldehyde molecules. So that's the entire sequence. So the entire pathway has been divided into 2 phases: oxidative, non-oxidative. One is starting material is glucose to ribulose. Okay, glucose 6-phosphate to ribulose 5-phosphate. This up to this reaction it comes under oxidative phase. After that, the non-oxidative phase, the ribulose starting material, 3 molecule of ribulose 5-phosphate, it's converted into the 2 molecules of fructose 6-phosphate and glyceraldehyde. So that's the entire reactions. So this is a oxidative phase reactions. You can see here. It's a simple structural representation. Here also you don't need to memorize, don't need to write all those things. I can explain the simplified picture. So this is a oxidative phase reaction. You can see here the glucose 6-phosphate is converted into the ribulose 5-phosphate during 2 molecules. NADPH 2 molecule is going to form. This is a reactions. In non-oxidative phase, the ribulose 5-phosphate it's converted into the fructose 6-phosphate and glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate. This is the product. So first one is up to glucose to ribulose. The second one is ribulose to fructose 6-phosphate and glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate. This is the entire reactions. Okay. So next we can go to see the exact chemistry wise what's happened exactly. What is the structural conformation is going to change? What is the interconversion of reaction is how is happen? What is the structural modification is going to happen? All those things we can see this in this slide. So here you can see here the entire chemical reaction has been divided into based upon phases, different phases. You can see this one. So this is a glucose molecule, glucose 6-phosphate. So this is oxidative phase. Once it started to glucose means glucose is converted into the glucose 6-phosphate. That's the first reactions. Then the glucose 6-phosphate it's converted into the ribulose 5-phosphate. Up to this reaction it is called as, up to this level it is called as oxidative phase. Okay. So at the end of oxidative phase, the ribulose 5-phosphate it's enter into the non-oxidative phase. Okay. So you can see here, this is first glucose 6-phosphate is converted into the 6-phosphogluconolactone. Okay. You just here, you just memorize the names. Glucose is converted into glucose 6-phosphate. Then glucose 6-phosphate, it's converted into glucose, 6-phosphogluconolactone with the help of glucose 6-phosphate dehydrogenase enzyme. That enzyme is going to convert the substrate into product. Once this product is formed, it's once again it's converted into 6-phosphogluconate with the help of 6-phosphogluconolactonase enzymes. That enzyme responsible for convert the 6-phosphogluconolactone to 6-phosphogluconate. Then once again here another one NADPH is formed. Here the dehydrogenase enzyme is responsible for conversion of 6-phosphogluconate into ribulose 5-phosphate. This is the end product for first phase, oxidative phase. So glucose 6-phosphate to ribulose 5-phosphate. This is a first step. After that, the 3 molecule of ribulose 5-phosphate it's divided into 2 xylose 5-phosphate. It's divided into 2 xylose molecule and 1 ribose molecules. 1 ribose and 2 xylose. This is starting for non-oxidative phase. Once the ribulose is converted into 2 molecule of xylose phosphate 1 and 2 molecules of xylose phosphate and 1 molecule of ribose phosphate. After that, it's converted into, finally you can see here, it's converted into 2 molecules of fructose 6-phosphate, 2 molecules of fructose 6-phosphate and glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate. For intermediately, it's converted into the various product, the particularly pseudoheptulase 7 phosphate with the help of ribose phosphate enzymes and trans-ketolase enzyme and trans-aldolase enzyme. These are the enzymes responsible for interconvertible reactions. So glucose to ribulose, ribulose is converted into 1 ribose, 2 xylose phosphate. That xylose is converted into 2 fructose molecules and glyceraldehyde 3 phosphate. Apart from that, it's going to form another one product that is called as erythrose 4 phosphate. This is essential for erythrocyte survival mechanisms. So this is the reaction. Here also you no need to worry about the structure and all those things. Structure wise and name wise I have clubbed together for easy understanding. So next we can see here for exact structure level differentiation. You can see that this is a glucose 6 phosphate. 6 molecules of carbon is there and another one phosphate group is there. Here you can see here this is a in 6th position it's having a phosphate group. So with the help of this enzyme glucose phosphate dehydrogenase enzyme, it's converted into the 6-phosphogluconolactone. So structure wise what's the difference we can see here? Nothing difference, only this OH group is converted into ketone. That's the thing, nothing difference. Once you know the basic structure of glucose means, or the 5th position, sorry, that yeah, this exactly this the phosphate group, sorry. So the structure wise difference is nothing, it's a difference of the hydroxyl group has been replaced into lactone ring with the help of dehydrogenase enzyme. Glucose 6 phosphate dehydrogenase enzyme, it's going to remove this hydroxyl group because this hydrogen is going to donate for the NADP, so it's reduced into NADPH. So it's reduced one hydrogen molecule, so it's converted into the ketone group. So that means free oxygen groups. So it's called as 6-phosphogluconolactone. Okay. The next one is, you can see here, another one hydrogen is going to gain. One hydrogen ion is going to gain from the water molecule. So what's happened? They have break the structure for easy understanding. The hydrogen is going to attach with this 3rd positions. So the hydrogen ions is going to attach in 3rd position. You can see here this carbon atom is entirely denoted in different color pattern for easy understanding. So the 6-phosphate group is present on 6th one. The third carbon atom is gain the 1 hydrogen ions. So what's happening in next step with the help of the enzymes? 6-phosphogluconodehydrogenase enzyme, it's going to catalyze the reaction. It's converted into the ribulose 5 phosphates. So what's the structural difference? Nothing. The color denoted carbon molecules is removed as a carbon dioxide. Then 1 hydrogen ions, this hydrogen ions also is going to remove. So the NADPH is going to gain another 1 hydrogen ions from this place. So the structure is simply modified into the removal of carbon dioxide here. The carbon dioxide is going to remove. So then hydrogen ion is going to add here. So removed here. So the once again is converted into the ketone group. So the second carbon atom is once again is converted into the ketone attachments. Okay. So it is called as ribulose 5 phosphate. After that, the ribulose 5 phosphate, it's undergone the isomerase enzyme with the help of 2 different enzymes, ribulose 5 phosphate isomerase and emirase enzyme. 2 different enzyme, isomerase and emirase enzyme. It's convert the ribulose 5 phosphate into 2 different product. One is ribulose 5 phosphate, the second one is xylose 5 phosphate. So structure wise you can see here what is the difference. Same 5 carbon molecules are there, same 5 carbon molecules there. Here this hydrogen is going to attach together this position. You can see here this hydrogen ions is going to attach this ketone group. It's converted into OH. The second position ketone group is converted into the hydroxyl group. At the same time, the CH2O is converted into aldehyde, CHO. So that's a difference. Apart from that, no structural difference in this structure. This reaction is catalyzed by isomerase enzyme. But in vice versa, in the second structure, you can see that the xylose biphosphate. So what's happened here? You can see here the CH2OH, it's going to remain. Then this, yeah, the ketone groups also remain. This two position is always remain. Only the third carbon atom, the hydrogen and hydroxyl groups are interchanged. It's going to it's converted into the convert the position. It's going to interchange the position. So that's a difference. You can see here the same CH2O in first position, ketone group is same. The third positions, only in third position, the hydroxyl group and hydrogen groups are, it's going to change their position. That's a difference. So the starting material is same, ribulose 5-phosphate. With the help of isomerase and epimerase enzyme, it's converted into two product, ribulose 5-phosphate and xylose 5-phosphate. Now you can see here, this is two molecules, that means 10 carbon atoms there. This 10 carbon atoms, one ribulose 5-phosphate, one xylose 5-phosphate, 5 carbon atom, it's going to conjoin together. So totally it's a 10 carbon molecule groups. So it's converted into 7 carbon molecules and 3 carbon molecule product. Up to here 5 divided into 5, these 5 molecules are conjoined together. Then it's going to break into one 7 molecule group compound and 3 molecule compound. So this is an enzyme responsible for that reaction. The enzyme name is transketolase. The enzyme name is transketolase, that is responsible for conversion for this reaction. You can see here, from this two substance, it's conjoined together, it's converted into the 7 carbon molecule. The molecule is cytoheptulase 7-phosphate and glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate. So you can see here, you are going to club these two structure, this 5 molecule, this 5 molecule, the two substances going to club together. That's a thing. So you can see here, thus the green color denoted portions, it's remain. Up to this one, it's going to remain. So this you can see exactly here. So CH2 PO3 equation is same, then hydroxyl is same. Yeah, this one is 1 2 3. Then this molecule is going to up to here, then this molecule is going to conjoin together. So this molecule is going to split it into two, one half of amount. So this ribulose 5-phosphate half molecule and xylose 5-phosphate half molecule here, you can see this exactly here. So this entire, this upper part of the group is going to join together. So it's going to convert into the cytoheptulase 5-phosphate. The remaining groups, it's attached together, it's converted into the glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate. So this reaction also, it's a interconversible reactions. This reaction has been catalyzed by transaldolase enzyme. This molecule is once again, it's converted into the fructose 6-phosphate. You can see here structure wise the same, the blue color group is same. Here the 7th one carbon molecules are totally removed. Okay, so then it's converted into the fructose 6-phosphate. From this cytoheptulase 7-phosphate, you can remove the one entire sequence, carbon and hydrogen and hydroxyl group sequence, means it's down regulated into fructose 6-phosphate. Then same thing, the 10 molecule is converted into the 6, then remaining is 4. That 4 molecule is compound is called as erythrose 4-phosphate. Okay, 6 and 4. So this is one reaction. It's convert the product is converted into the transcetolase is converted into the cetolase 7 and glyceraldehyde 3, means it comes under this pathway. Otherwise, the xylose 5-phosphate itself, it comes together. It's going for the transketolase, the same enzyme which is responsible for the formation of the same product in different pathway. Here also the same, fructose 6-phosphate and glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate. This product and this one, this both the product, it's directly is going to form to bypass the reactions without entering the 7 molecule compound. It's directly both the molecules is conjoined together. The same transketolase is catalyze the reaction. Without going to 7 molecule compound, it's converted into the fructose 6 phosphate and glyceraldehyde 3 phosphate. This is one side. Once it's entered into the 7 molecule compound, means is going to form a erythrose 4 phosphate. This is the sequence. Okay, this is the two way. So the glucose is converted into the ribulose 5 phosphate. That's a first phase, oxidative phase. That's a first phase. That's an oxidative phase. Once from the ribulose, it's converted into the xylose phosphate and ribose phosphate. That means 5 molecules. The both the 5 molecules are is going to conjoin together. It's enter into the 7 molecule. It's converted into the 7 molecule and 3 molecule compounds. That is pseudoheptulase 7 phosphate and glyceraldehyde 3 phosphate. Then it's converted into the fructose 6 phosphate and erythrose 4 phosphate. If the entire pathway is bypassed with the same enzyme, transketolase enzyme, both the 5 molecules compounds, both 5 molecules compounds are, it's converted into the fructose 6 phosphate and glyceraldehyde 3 phosphate. So this is the entire reactions for triple P, pentose phosphate pathway, otherwise HMP stunt. So this is a table. So exactly each and every step, what the substrate, what is the reactant, what is the product, which enzyme is catalyze the reactions, all those things I have tabulated here, and overall reaction also I have mentioned in below the table. Okay, you can see here this oxidative phase. In oxidative phase, the first product, the reactant is glucose 6 phosphate. It's converted into the lactone group. Removal of hydrogen ions is converted into the lactone. That reaction is catalyzed by glucose 6 phosphate dehydrogenase enzyme. Then this is a reactant. Then it's converted into 6 phosphogluconate. It's catalyzed by the lactanase enzyme. 6 phosphoglucolactanase enzyme. Hydrolysis happen. So this is the second reaction. Then this 6 phosphogluconate, it's converted into the ribose phosphate. In this two reaction is going to form here 2 molecules of NADPH. Okay, that's a thing. This reaction is catalyzed by 6 phosphogluconate dehydrogenase enzyme. So this is a oxidative phase reactions. So once the ribulose 5 phosphate is converted into the ribose 5 phosphate, then xylose 5 phosphate and ribose phosphate. Then it's enter into the pseudoheptulase 7 phosphate and glyceraldehyde 3 phosphate. Then further it's converted into the xylose 5 phosphate and erythrocyte 4 phosphate. It's a bypass reaction. The transketolase enzyme, it's transketolase, sorry. The transketolase enzyme is going to catalyze both the reactions. Either it's converted into the 7 compounds, 7 molecule carbon molecule compounds, otherwise directly fructose 6 phosphate. Both the reaction is catalyzed by transketolase enzyme. So the interconversible reaction is going to done by the transaldolase enzyme. That means from the 7 molecule compound, it's converted into the 6 molecule compound. That means pseudoheptulase 7 compounds is down regulated into the fructose 6 phosphate. That reaction is catalyzed by the transaldolase enzyme. That's a reactions. So the next one is a regulation. Hello guys. Hello. Hello, respond பண்ணுங்க யாராவது. For the continuation of HMP pathway, we must know the basic regulator to regulate the HMP pathway. So regulations, the first one is the important one I said already. The glucose 6 phosphate dehydrogenase enzyme. This the enzyme is act as a vital role for the HMP pathway because this is a key role to start the pathway. So it is act as a regulator. So based upon the availability of the NADPH or NADP, it's going to regulate. So the glucose 6 phosphate dehydrogenase enzyme, it's responsible for regulate the HMP pathway. So what are the things is going to activate? Yeah, the same enzymes. We know that this enzyme is responsible, but this enzyme has been stimulated by NADP. So when the lack of NADPH, otherwise when your body need more amount of NADPH, that time the NADP only is available. That means it must be reduced. So that case, that substance NADP itself is act as a activator to stimulate the glucose 6-phosphate dehydrogenase enzymes. So once more amount of NADP is there, means it's going to stimulate the glucose 6-phosphate dehydrogenase. So the pathway is going to start. Once the pathway is started, means it started to produce the NADPH. That means this NADP, it's converted into NADPH, that is involved for the various reactions, anabolic reactions. So you can see here the normal ratio of NADPH and NADP in liver cytosol. In liver cytosol, the ratio is 100:1. So that's the reason it is act as one of the major metabolic process happen on liver. So that's the reason the cytosol is act as a highly reducing environment, because it's having more amount of NADPH is there. 100 molecule NADPH is there, means only one molecule of NADP is there. So that means it's ready to reduce the any compound. That means it's ready to donate the hydrogen ions. Then it's converted into the NADP. So this NADPH is going to utilize the pathway, is various pathway process. Okay, so this process, we know that that enzyme is responsible. Which enzyme? Dehydrogenase, glucose 6-phosphate dehydrogenase is responsible. That enzyme is may inhibited by acetyl CoA also. When the acetyl CoA is excess there, otherwise that acetyl CoA itself, it's going to inhibit the that enzymes, glucose 6-phosphate dehydrogenase enzyme. So apart from that, this enzymes also it's regulated by the cytoplasmic deacetylase enzyme. It is called as SIRT. Sirtuin, it's nothing but it's a sirtuin, I think. Simply you can remember it's SIRT2. So that's glucose 6-phosphate. It's regulated by the another one substance called as cytoplasmic deacetylase substance, that is called as SIRT2. Okay. So then important outcomes. What is the beneficial from this pathway? Once this pathway is happen, means what is the beneficial is happen? What is the biological difference is going to happen in your body? Those things is comes under this category. So you can see here the PPP triple P pentose phosphate pathway. It's mostly occur on the we know that the liver, cytosol, all those things. It's a cytoplasmic regions. So mostly it's active in the liver and mammary glands and adrenal cortex. These are the major place this pathway is going to happen. Mostly it's in liver. Okay. So we know that from this pathway is going to produce the NADPH, approximately 60% of in humans. Okay. The next one is the NADPH synthesis. In out of 100%, 60% of production is happen from this pathway. Okay. So this generation, the reducing equivalence of NADPH is radioactive in the biosynthesis reactions. Nothing but once this formed NADPH, the synthesized, otherwise the reduced NADPH, it's involved in the various anabolic reactions we discussed in earlier. So the same thing, NADPH is involved in the various anabolic reactions, particularly the fatty acids and steroid biosynthesis process. Apart from that, we know that it is one of the basic raw material for the nucleotides from the nucleic acid synthesis. The substance is ribose 5-phosphate. It is synthesis for the nucleotides, base for DNA chain and nucleic acid synthesis. That is important. So NADPH is the first product that is involved for the anabolic process, various anabolic reaction. The second one is ribose phosphate. It is base for the essential for the nucleotide synthesis, nucleic acid synthesis. The third one is erythrose 4-phosphate. That is essential for the synthesis of various aromatic amino acids, particularly the glutamate mediated amino acids. It's responsible for synthesis of the particular enzymes, the glutamate dehydrogenase enzyme. Simply, you know that you can understand the Simply you can understand the erythrose 4-phosphate is essential for synthesis of aromatic amino acids. So the next one is once if you take the pentose sugar as usual, as such you can take the pentose sugar means it's undergone the metabolism is directly enter into the biosynthesis process. So apart from this NADPH, first we said it's involved for the anabolic process. At the same time, this is NADPH, it's responsible for metabolism of various drugs. Metabolism of various drugs. That means particularly is involved for the cytochrome P450 enzymes mediated metabolic process. That means metabolism, it's otherwise called as detoxification process. So the cytochrome 450 enzymes mediated metabolic process, that process it's need NADPH. So that NADPH is donated or utilized from the this pathway. Then apart from that, we know that phagocytosis process. So in first unit itself we have seen what is phagocytosis. It's going to engulf the substance and it's going to, it's a phagocytosis process means nothing but it's engulf the foreign substance, otherwise apoptosis process. So various lysosomal enzyme is going to degrade the foreign substance, otherwise microorganism, otherwise that abnormal cell, apoptosis process. So for those process also it's need the energy, that energy supplies. Apart from that it's need the this NADPH. So that's a outcomes. Then it's going to prevent the oxidative stress. I think you know that what is oxidative stress. I will explain in the next points. So the oxidative stress means is nothing but in your biological system, in some case during phagocytosis process, otherwise during some other fatty acid oxidation process, it's going to produce some of the oxidative material. The material, the best example they mention here, hydrogen peroxide. So once this hydrogen peroxide, it's act as a oxidative stress molecules. So it's going to damage the cell, is going to cause the necrosis of cell. So that hydrogen peroxide, that means oxidative stress, it must be removed, otherwise it must be neutralized. So this hydrogen peroxide, it's be neutralized by with the help of glutathione peroxidase enzyme. So this hydrogen peroxide is converted into the free water molecules. So that's a important enzyme, the important biological role. So in our body is going to produce various oxidative stress, example like hydrogen peroxide. So it must be neutralized. For neutralizing process, it's utilized by the enzyme is glutathione peroxidase. So that enzyme is neutralized the hydrogen peroxide, it's converted into free water molecule, non-toxic material. So for that process, the glutathione reductase synthesis. So the glutathione, it must be reduced form. So for the reduction process, the NADPH is going to supply the hydrogen ions. So that's a process. The oxidized glutathione, it's going to reduced into reduced glutathione format. Then only it's involved for the neutralization purpose, oxidative stress neutralization purpose. So that's a sequence. So once this absence, the glutathione peroxidase or glutathione its absence means what's happened. This oxidative markers, the hydrogen free peroxide, it's converted into the hydroxy free radicals. So this hydrogen peroxide is converted into the free radicals. This is the exact oxidative stress. Once the free radical is found, means is going to attack the cell is going to damage. So for those process, to prevent this process, the hydrogen peroxide is must be neutralized. That means it's converted into the free water molecules, carbon dioxide and water molecules. For that, it's need glutathione. For glutathione, it must be available in reduced form. For reducing the glutathione, the NADPH is essential. So that's a sequence. Yeah. So apart from that, during phagocytosis process also, the hydrogen peroxide is going to form. For those, hydrogen peroxide also neutralized by the same phenomena. Okay. Then apart from that, the erythrocytes That means nothing but our RBC cells, it's having large amount of NADPH. It's generate large amount of NADPH. So RBC is going to utilize the glucose by this pathway. It's going to generate more amount of NADPH. It's going to generate the large amount of NADPH. So what is a need? Means it's act as a important role. It preserve the integrity of RBC. So it's going to maintain the RBC integrity. By which mechanism? Means we know that the RBC is containing the HP. That means hemoglobin. The hemoglobin it must be, it's nothing but it's iron material. So the iron material, heme is there. So heme is the iron material. So the iron, it must be present on reduced state. That means it must be present on the ferrous state, Fe2 plus. So if it is oxidate, it's converted to the Fe3 plus, means its condition is called as methemoglobin. So it is one of the unwanted things, it may produce a toxic also. So if you wanna prevent these things, the iron must be available in reduced state. That means it's always present on Fe2 plus. That means ions must be reduced. For reduction of ion, otherwise to maintain the ion in reduced state, it's continuously the hydrogen ions is means donated by NADPH. So NADPH is going to donate, it's converted into the NADP. So that hydrogen ions is maintain the ion in a reduced state. From here itself,